a lot of storm chasers,
Back up.
but pretty few pest control. So people are just kind of like, whoa, why are you knocking for bugs?
What are you doing?
Yeah, so building rapport for that.
Cool. What? So then how because I do actually want to get into building rapport, because this has been something I've been really focused on with just like kind of building out more training around, like an actual tangible process of building rapport. But what's the pest control landscape out there like? Does everybody have somebody? Are there a lot of do-it-yourselfers? Is it just known that you have to have it? Termites are bad. Is it kind of like Georgia with everybody has termite bonds? What's that all like?
It's not as mandatory as Georgia. I think a lot of people do have termite bonds, but not nearly as much as Georgia.
Okay.
I'd say it's about probably 70-30, like have a company to do it yourself.
Really? So I just would not expect many do-it-yourselfers actually.
Yeah, I was assuming
more than I would think.
Yeah.
More than I would think.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, Evan, how does it feel compared to Kansas City?
Pretty similar.
Really?
Yeah, like a little less hick. Like being
like a redneck Midwest, obviously.
Yeah,
that feel
less redneck than Kansas City, but pretty similar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just in terms of I remember getting to Kansas City from Virginia that summer we were there, and it was just so weird that you didn't have to be like uber confident, straight up like, I don't know, max certainty all the time to get people's attention, but they would almost kind of lead you on just to be nice. Like, oh, well, how much does it cost? Like they're asking how much it costs, ask tons of buying questions, but then be totally disinterested in actually buying anything. No, I think we're okay. No, we're fine. Like, gosh dang it, dude, what? This goes against everything I know about selling.
Take out those like super nice people, and it's like that, where I had to shift from being extreme certainty, and this is what has to happen, to like a little softer, a little nicer. Okay, yeah, totally fine, man. Yeah, you can see you guys spray, yada. How long you guys been here for? Oh, dude, that's crazy. Did you guys screen your porch too? Okay, yeah, that's awesome, man. That hit the pocket pretty hard or what? No, it was okay. It wasn't too expensive. I hope you guys are putting in a pool too. No, not yet. Prices of the pools are crazy out here. Yeah, dude, they're wild. It's crazy. Anyways, man.
Ultra rapport.
Yeah, super focused on rapport.
Huh. I'm curious, like what do people do then? I mean, do they just deal with mosquitoes, or is mosquitoes like a big talking point for you guys?
Yeah, mosquitoes is a pretty big talking point for us. Yeah, like everybody does something for them.
Cool.
Everybody's spraying themselves, or like trying, or putting out citronella candles.
It's like zappers or
yeah, all sorts of contraptions. But then people will always have the screens in their porch, right? That's what you're saying?
Not always, but a lot of people do out here. They'll have one on their front door too. So it's like you have to enter it through the screen door and then go knock their front door.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know this is like kind of tedious, but I'm actually really curious about these types of things, because in all the markets there are different things that kind of break your it's like a pattern break almost for like the guys that are used to knocking in certain markets, right? But what's been the thing that's was actually difficult to adjust to? And I'm even referring to things like that where like, okay, it's weird to walk through. Like, how do you knock the door?
Yeah, it's weird
to walk through someone's screen door, like actually walk onto the porch through a door. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they made a law in South Florida where all front doors have to open outwards.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a hurricane something that covers your door. That
okay.
Is a big old piece of metal that covers your front door. So unless you have really quick, easy access to something like that that's hurricane proof, then all front doors have to open outwards. So it's about like probably 95 to 99% of doors all open out.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, so why? What's that about?
Because it's harder for them to blow in from the hurricanes.
From the hurricanes. Got it.
Because of the door jam.
Okay. So does that throw you off at first, where you're like, okay, this feels really awkward to me? Now because dude, I remember in Kansas City, I had a lady accuse me of trying to break into her house because I would open the screen door to knock the inside, and then I would just close it really fast.
Yeah.
And it was just this massive ordeal. It was actually it was kind of a crazy person that actually happened to be in the same church, go to the same ward as me, who had just kind of come back to church, and she was causing like a lot of drama for the church leadership. And I happened to knock her door, and they like made up this story that I was trying to break into their house. But that's because I would do that on every door, because I hated knocking on the screen door on the outside because no one could hear you, right? Yeah. And there would be some places where they just wouldn't have doorbells for whatever reason, and they've like nice, wealthy neighborhoods even, or the doorbells would be on the inside of that. So I would just get in the habit of like, unless it was locked, I'd open the screen door, knock the door. But that was so hard for me actually to do, because it felt like I was like doing something wrong, you know? Does it feel like that with the screen doors and stuff, or the covered porches?
Yeah, pretty similar. And like with the front doors, there's like a week of like, oh, this is weird and awkward.
Yeah.
They like build reports like, whoa, your front door opens outwards. That's crazy. And they're just like, what?
What?
Talking about, dude. Like, gotta go.
That didn't land.
Dave? No? Oh, sorry, my wrong door. Bye.
It's like when you get to a city for the first time and you're like, how long you guys lived in Olathe for? And they're like, Olathe? Yeah, that. You're not from around here, huh?
What I say? No.
I'm the local bug guy, but I don't know how to pronounce any of the cities.
Super local. What street are we on again?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, all those things are always fascinating to me, because they actually, it's, you know, it's funny how just like, Evan, we were kind of talking about this the other day. It's like everyone tries to find an excuse to not be successful. And sometimes they're those little things like, I just don't feel like I can knock the door the same way as I did before.
Yeah.
Or whatever it might be, you know, the script or whatever. What's been working for you guys? What have you found that, I mean, tell me about how your contract values are so high from a training principles perspective. Like, what are you guys focusing on?
Dude, for us, I mean, a lot of it's just bi-monthlies, to be honest. Just no corporate here.
It's just like shifting the paradigm, I think, to that.
Yeah, it's all
outlawed, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're outlawed here. And like a lot of it is just like, it's so hot and humid here in Florida that it really is better for the customer to have those bi-monthly services.
Cool.
And so,
are there any? Do most companies do bi-monthlies, or are they doing quarterlies? Like if you're switching people over,
companies do bi-monthlies. Some do quarterlies, some do as needed, but the majority of them are all bi-monthly.
Cool.
And so it's pretty like common here. People are super used to it. But also it's just like your perception about price. Like it's like for us, because now we're thinking grand contracts like every day.
Yeah, this is literally $1,000 and the majority of those aren't mosquito, right?
No.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, and it's just like your perception about it. Like it's how you view price in the service is how they're going to view price in the service.
Yeah.
If you're just certain confident about it, then like they'll go along with it, definitely.
And like if you really think about it, a necessity for a home. And even like as I've owned multiple homes now, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, when I move in, I end up spending like just a crap ton of money anyway. And $1,000 spread out throughout the entire year to have a service that like genuinely makes my life more comfortable. That's like not very hard of a decision, even in, you know, your typical non-wealthy middle-class family. Like people are making decisions like that all the time for more money to make their lives more comfortable. And it's just not that, I don't know. It just made me feel silly about my paradigm between like $500 and $700 contract values, and how somehow I thought that was just so much more. But in reality, like homeowners just don't actually care if it's good for them, you know?
It's a no-brainer, dude.
Yeah. See, it's just a no-brainer. Yeah. What else has been working for you guys? Just, you know, let's riff on some of that stuff. Like, how are you actually doing that then from a training or sales perspective? When you're pitching, is there anything different you're doing when you give price?
Like for the bi-monthlies?
Yeah, just for higher contract values in general, or selling more on value, I guess.
Big thing, I think what's cool about Florida is it's just this huge peninsula, right? It's all sand. It's like one giant sandbar.
Yeah.
The ants are crazy. Like they're really, really, genuinely really hard to get rid of.
Okay.
And so because so many companies don't do the granules every time, they're always going to have ants. And so it's like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. You have to treat the yard because it's going to get into the sand where the ants are coming from. The sprays.
Yeah.
It's like training that, like knowing that about what you're dealing with, like understanding the monster that you're up against, I think is awesome. What's funny about Florida too is like, I feel like you get everything, no matter what. Like, oh, yeah, we just opened up doors like 4 weeks ago. And they're like, whoa, no, dude, no way. Get out of here. I'm not using you because you just opened up. I don't trust you.
Oh, really? So it's like very, they like the established stuff?
Yeah, like, but you get both. And then you're like, hey, look, I just started up. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You're going to be my 152nd customer. And they're like, what? Yeah, dude, I'm in. I love
That's
that.
cool.
You
It's
know,
like just
like
complete opposites.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's the same for every market. It's like you're going to get people who love you because you're established, and people are going to hate you because you're established. People love you because you're new, and people are going to hate you because you're new. You know?
Yeah, totally. Interesting. It's always kind of a fun experience. It's just like it just breaks your beliefs about because you develop certain preferences of, the belief systems. I've been thinking a lot about this too, where like our belief systems are developed from our experiences, good or bad, and the meanings that we give to those experiences. So like if a lot of guys that have limiting beliefs about area, it's simply because they had one experience in that certain type of area and they drew the wrong conclusion from it. And then they had that same experience again, total confirmation bias, just like they psychologically looked for confirmation to have that same experience again, almost even subconsciously. And now you have a belief system that is concrete and will determine your outcomes in every area that looks that way. And it's kind of weird to go into new markets because everything's different about them. So like you can't even have the same preferences as you did before because they're just, none of them actually exist. So you're developing all these new beliefs around the new place that you're in. It's cool to start over like that almost because you have that clean slate,
Yeah. And every house is painted like pastel.
Oh, from the pictures that you guys were sending me, I was going to actually ask that. Is that like normal for even in like wealthy places?
Yeah. Like
why?
Wealth, I don't know. It's just like the Florida look that people like. Like they're like kind of beachy, Bahamas-y, the Keys.
Interesting.
That kind of look.
It looks super like 80s old school almost,
Yeah, people love it.
And even like the mansions on the beach are just like that pastel pink. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, there's like a couple mansions. There's a lot of like the Italian look where there's like the big clay shingles on top of the homes.
Got it. Another belief breaker too, right? Where you're like, it's a blatant, obvious reason to not be there, yet you have to kind of work around it, like defy the beliefs.
Yeah.
Well, and a huge part of it is just like treating them as people, right? And having them see you as people and being like really good at gaining trust early on in the sale, like in your intro.
Yeah.
If you can gain that trust, then like they don't actually care that you're there in your property or in the neighborhood knocking doors.
Sure. Yeah.
You can go there quickly, then like they don't care that you're in there.
Dude, this I've knocked several gated neighborhoods in my door-to-door career, but the first one that I ever knocked, I was Derek Katowski dropped me off in this area, and I like fell asleep on the way out to area, so I just like woke up like when I was ready to get dropped off, basically. And so he drops me off, and I'm like knocking the whole day, and I have a couple people tell me like, "Hey, this is a no soliciting neighborhood or whatever. Like, you need to leave." And then like after about 3 or 4 hours, I realized that I was in a gated neighborhood, and he just driven in and dropped me off. But I actually didn't even I had like 4 or 5 sales before I even realized that it was a gated neighborhood because it all just felt normal. Like all of the, we don't want you here, no soliciting, like kind of cussing you out sort of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So, because you don't want to keep knocking around someone that just like cussed you out, that's like following you. Right. So I would just go to the next street and then I'd come back. But it was weird because had I known it was a gated neighborhood, I would have probably knocked differently, but I didn't even realize it. And it was all just felt kind of the same anyway. Yeah, is that true for you guys, or is it actually kind of different?
That's pretty true.
Well, what kind of advice would you guys give people that are, let's going away from just market specific stuff, but what's been working for you guys to get rookies selling right away? And for you guys in starting up, again, we're still early enough in the season. I think this is relevant for some people, but what's helped you guys get momentum? What are some of the things that are working for you guys for both rookies and even you guys as experienced reps to help you get momentum early on in the sales season?
For rookies, we've been quizzing him a lot on like, okay, cool, what do you say next? And it's like going through intro, transition, feature benefit, price, close, go back to add feature benefit,
roadmap,
close,
the roadmap. Like
quizzing him and finding the roadmap. I see as one of the most beneficial things that we can equip them with. It's like, yeah, they can get creative with how they say each thing, but like just master the roadmap, just follow the check marks,
Understand at least what you need to say next.
Yeah.
And where to go next.
Yeah.
What content needs to come next?
Cool. And I mean, that's just like how many sales are lost just because, a rep doesn't even know that, not even the words to say, but like, okay, after I do this, what chunk of thing comes next in order to, in the sale, like to get me closer to someone buying,
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's really simple. They need to know who you are, what are you selling, and how much it is. That's it. Like,
yeah,
all they need to know. So it's like, oh, well, what do I say? Well, if they're not sold on it, then tell them
be
more
logical.
about what you would be buying. It's
Yeah.
like, what else is in the package? That's it. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's expensive. Okay, cool. Well, then help them on the price or add things more. Like there's two things. What are they buying and how much is it? That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And so it's like, yes, the roadmap's really, really important. I think it just helps the rookies to say like, okay, cool. I have a grasp and I understand how to do this, of like, okay, cool. Do this, then this, then this, then this, but at the end of the day, it's so simple. It's just, what are you buying and how much is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's huge. Well, it's so obvious, right? But it's like something that I think a lot of trainers miss, actually. Tell me about how you guys have gotten momentum then, like what's been helpful for you. And I just feel, I mean, even being on the doors again this year, for me, it's so apparent all over again. It's almost like you forget how hard it is actually to get momentum at first. But once you have it, it's like a precious thing to keep, because if the momentum goes away, you have to build it up again. What's helped you guys build that momentum early on?
So for me, it's been diving really deep into proactivity.
Okay. In what way?
Rereading habit 1 again and again and again, and just like really diving into those principles and like really affirming that like I affect the world does not affect me. Like that idea, like that's what's really pushed me in the past couple of weeks to just like, no, like I am here and I'm going to affect the world in the way I want to be affected, both on the doors and in the office, in car groups, in the hotel, like wherever I'm at, like I'm going to affect it and be proactive about that and choose like the culture and the vision that I want for that, make it happen. And so like just that like belief and that like I affirm that to myself every morning that like, no, I'm going to affect the world. I'm not going to let it affect me, has been huge in all areas of the job. And it's been,
that's massive, dude.
Yeah.
So, and just keeping that in mind really helps then early on, because early, you have this transition of like gaining that momentum. I think one of the reasons why it can be difficult is because there's so much against you. It's like you were saying, Evan, there's so much against you, or maybe you said that, Josh. I don't remember who said that. Yeah, that was Josh. Well, it would make sense. That's why you're pointing this out. But because there's so much against you, you have to actually, in order for it not to affect you and for you to be in control of the results, you have to adopt the mindset that you're in control. Like you're the creator. You're the creator of your life. So that means that you have the power to act in whatever way you choose to your circumstances.
Yeah, it's true, dude. I remember you gave a training to us in 2020 at your townhouse. And you told us
Cobblestone, dude.
Cobblestone, dude. But you told us, look, you are not creatures of your circumstance, you're creators of your circumstance. And that always stuck with me. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. Like we have it within all of us to create our own circumstances and not be creatures of our circumstances.
Yep. It's huge, man.
Very, very, very empowering belief.
Love that. What about you, Evan? What's been helpful to get that momentum? You guys have just been freaking killing it. Revenue per day has been massive lately.
It's just putting the pressure on myself to move. Because like you said, it's all fresh, right? Like everything in Florida is new. And I think that should be the same attitude with every single neighborhood that anyone knocks anywhere, is like,
yeah, sure.
Like this is new, and it's like pretty clear. I'll tell you a short story to illustrate it, but
okay.
On the door, dude, you're like the 5th guy this week, blah, 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 blah. EcoShield just came through here. This company just came through here. You're a loser, blah, blah, blah. The whole 9 yards. I'm just like, oh man, is this how this day is going to go? It's like, okay, cool. You can choose to resign to like, now I know, now I have the knowledge that these companies came through, or you can say, well, there's gotta be 3 to 6 people that I can convince in here. There's gotta be. And then I did 5 accounts, like 4 GPCs and a mosquito, and it was great. Or it's like, no, there are people here, and it's like 6 houses down. You sell them and sell them a mosquito.
Love
And
that.
it's like you choose to like accept it or create your own, is like what Josh is saying. But I find it the easiest for me to create my circumstances, to like put the pressure and to push myself to just go, to like sprint to the next door, to stop thinking about the last one, just sprint to the next one and just go.
Yeah, dude, that's huge.
Find Brother Mo.
That's huge. I love that. Guys, sorry, we gotta cut it short here because I gotta take off, but and you guys too. I'm sorry to make you late for the doors today, but thanks for being on, guys. Thanks for bearing with us with the technical difficulties. I want to be doing this again and more rotate through like all of our leadership on a regular basis to be like just talking about what's working for everyone and like sharing the wealth of knowledge. But it's been cool to talk, like especially to the Vegas guys and now to you guys, about markets that we haven't been in yet and just what the differences are. I think it's fun for people to hear, but also it just lets you, I think it helps people realize that you can sell anywhere. It does not matter. Although it's going to be different, the sales are always there if you realize that, like you're saying, you guys are in control of the situation, in control of your circumstances, in control of how you respond to those circumstances. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Just thank you for everything. This has been really fun.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're in.
Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.